Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Saguaro Sanctuary, where our mission is to rescue, rehome, and eventually reintegrate Australia's most precious wildlife back into the wild. Today's episode, it's all about the platypus, so let's get into it. Hey everyone, Simply Zoological here. Before we begin, I just want to start by saying thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, but I also hope you enjoyed that little snippet at the beginning. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. And also, the platypus is our second to last animal for the night house. We are almost done. We have one animal left. Let me know down in the comments what you think that animal will be. So let's go ahead and get into the actual build. So again, this is for the platypus. We have end up with 2 females, and I'll go into a little bit more of their story in just a little bit. But today I am currently working on the backstage water area. So they will have a backstage and a guest viewing water. And the backstage will be plastered or concreted, however you want to call it. And because I wanted it to act as if the platypuses needed to be off exhibit for any reason whatsoever, they could still have access to water in their backstage, and the staff wouldn't have to close down the whole entire night house due to the platypuses being sick or something like that. So they could still be in the building and still continue to keep the building open. Because again, this is a very low budgeted zoo. We need as much funding as possible, as many donations as possible. So we do our best to keep everything up and running as much as we can. And then there, I was kind of struggling a little bit to get the animal burrow where I wanted it closer to the water, but burrows and water don't really mix. Same thing with water and paths. So, but here I am working on a little bit of an underwater gate for the platypuses to swim through. So it's not functional in the game, but in real life it would be functional. But it's just Planet Zoo's hitboxes are massive. Like any content creator for this game has said before. I mean, even if you play the game, you know that the animal hitboxes are insanely massive. So I'm just going to take the aluminum, I believe it's the aluminum New World sign and the marquee beams, and slide that into the wall and then drop it down just a little bit to act as if it's on like an automatic timer or something, so that certain times of the day, or if the staff need to close it off, they can. And then we're just going to work on getting their enrichment and their terrain and getting them happy with their terrain and everything. And while we're working on that, I want to go ahead and tell you about about our 2 platypuses. So we have Tilly and Willa. They're a mother-daughter pair who were recently forced out of their home because their home flooded. And if you don't know much about platypuses, they generally live right alongside the water's edge, where it's kind of muddy and the soil is very soft. And so they live right there along that edge, so that way they can just come right out of their burrow and go straight into the water. The only bad thing with that is that a lot of times their burrows and their homes can be flooded if they get a lot of heavy rain or something like that. Their homes get flooded quite often. And these 2 girls actually fell victim of that. And our team was lucky enough to find them, and they were able to rescue them and brought them back to the sanctuary, so that way we can rehabilitate them and hopefully get them back into the wild, if they will ever be able to completely recover from their injuries. Alongside that note, the platypuses, the males actually also have poisonous spurs. I don't exactly know where they are at. I would assume in their mouth. If you know, let me know down below. But I do know they have poisonous spurs that they use to, whether it's steering mating or whether it's for territorial gain, they use them for all sorts of things. But also, the platypus is one of only 2 mammals to lay eggs, with the echidna being the second mammal that lays eggs. And now that we've kind of got that covered, let's talk about the actual build. So as you can see, we did the rock work, we did the underwater foliage. All I did was just use the temple plant, like going vertically how I've done for the saltwater crocodile, along with the penguin exhibit. If y'all want to go check those out, I'll leave a link in the top. But here I actually, again, since I was working with water for this exhibit, I wanted to get the water and the paths in first. So I got the water in, got the pathing in, and then I just went to crazy building. And I had got done with everything. I went to turn it to nighttime to see kind of where I needed the lamps to be at and everything. And I noticed that I didn't have the barriers or the walls in. So I quickly put those in and everything. And so that's what you see me doing here, is getting the walls to line up and everything. And then we will go in shortly with the barriers, not long after this. But I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the future plans for this zoo and even TVEP. So the Night House, we have 1 more episode left of actually, or 2 more episodes actually building for the Night House. We have 1 animal left, and then I still have yet to do backstages for any of these animals. So next week will be our last animal for the Night House, and then the week following that will probably be the backstaging video. And then I'm thinking maybe halfway, probably Wednesday or Thursday of the week after that, so 3 weeks from now would be the tour, and then that Saturday when I'm actually supposed to upload, I will upload a build video, probably TVEP, since I haven't been in TVEP for a while. I really just wanted to get this project done, so that's why I've been so heavy in here. But also I've been stuck in a little bit of a lull with TVEP, where I want the next animal I want to add. I kind of struggled at first trying to get the logistics and everything figured out for that exhibit, but I've got it figured out. I've got it kind of figured out how I want it, so we'll get that done, and then I think we may hop back into TVEP in the next couple weeks or so. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and really quickly, you saw I'm just recoloring some of these panels and stuff that I've added in, and then I will move on to, I believe I add a little bit of some foliage, but also I go in here after in just a little bit and I add in some rocks to the center because I think it looks a little plain. And then we will create some puddles, like I did for the little penguin exhibit. So we're just gonna get the foliage. I found this tip from Sparrow. she swears by it, and I now swear by it too, where if you create a foliage palette, instead of having an actual foliage palette on the ground in your zoo taking up a whole bunch of space, you can create your own custom tags in the nature tab. So you can create an underbrush, a trees, a rocks tab, all sorts of whatever you want. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So we're just using my custom tags for Saguaro Sanctuary, and I'm going to go in and add in the trees and stuff that I want, keeping in mind that these trees need to be relatively low to the ground due to us being in a building. And then I went in with some of the, I believe they're from Caesar Creates, the mud wall set that I've used kind of throughout the night house, and just kind of sunk those down in the ground a little bit. And then here we're gonna finally get to that middle section like I was talking about a second ago. And I'm just gonna go, and I believe it's the emissive or immersive decal panel that, I believe it's base game. And I forget it first, but you need to color this. You need to color the decal itself to black, so that way there's no glow. And then just take the moss decals and put around it, and then recolor those to whatever soil, sand color, whatever kind of terrain paint you're using. Just recolor them to as close as you can to that, and then just kind of place them around. And from certain perspectives, they look like they're puddles. And I go absolutely crazy with the puddles because I wanted to make sure that this looked very wet, very soppy. Because again, the platypus, they generally live in very wet areas. And I mean, their homes live on riverbanks. So I wanted to kind of give the sense of their burrow was on, like, in a water pool. And now we are currently working on the barriers that we completely forgot until the very last second. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, but before I do, I want to say I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below what you thought. Let me know what you thought about the intro, what you think our next animal will be for the night house. I love hearing your guesses and stuff, so let me know that down below. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll leave you with the cinematics. Bye.